Hello and welcome one and all in this our family reunion and gathering. Namaste Mahisha Didi, welcome. Namaste Arjun Bhaiya.
नमस्ते भैया।
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste, Bhaiya.
Namaste Didi,
Namaste,
namaste.
Arjun.
नमस्ते।
Nice, and welcome to all the participants. We have, this is our follow-up session for UHV based on module 1 of the student induction program. And we have been discussing about gratitude and love. So Arjun, we are going to continue with the same.
Yes, today we'll go more into love.
That's nice. And I could see Ranganath ji had just unmuted. Ranganath sir, would you like to share something? Ranganath sir, you just unmuted. Would you like to share something?
No. A small information, madam. I have been busy with the UHV FDP, madam, for 22nd onwards.
Ji.
Yeah, I've been listening to all the participants, and all they are enjoying. They have been feeling some sort of eye-opening in order to make their lives happy, madam.
Ji.
Yes, I sent all the reports and rushed to open this, madam. Thank you very much.
Nice, Rangnath sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Rangnath sir is always very participative and sincere about his efforts towards.
Thank you for your compliments, ma'am. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Nice.
There's nothing special going on well. My journey, reaching our goal to make the students well in all aspects, madam. I'm strengthening my knowledge in UHV. If I strengthen myself, I am confident that I make my students strengthy also. Yes, madam. That's all, madam.
Nice, very nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Rangnath Bhaiya.
Yes, ma'am.
So nice. It's another Wednesday evening session where we have the follow-up of UHV, and many of our students also join in to participate in the discussion. So if any of the students would like to share something, will that be fine, Arjun?
Yeah, definitely. We should do that.
If any of our students would like to share any of their reflections regarding the sessions as they have been proceeding. I can see Akash Mishra. Akash Mishra ji. Ji.
Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste. Namaste. Nice. So I think, Arjun, I think I'll hand over the session to you so that we can take the discussion. Yes, Akash. Akash ji, would you like to share any of your views?
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, after going through this content, several improvements have come in my life, and it has changed my perspective to see my own self. And yeah, most important thing is that I am able to distinguish the self and body, as well as I am able to distinguish in between intention and competence. That helps me a lot. So thanks to whole UHV team.
That's really good.
Very nice. If you can
Nice,
see
Arjun.
that, then it makes you feel comfortable also, and it helps you to handle the outside situation also better, and inside also you feel comfortable, and that way you have a feeling of being related to the other also.
Yeah.
It's true, sir. Professor Razgar, it's true. Very obvious. It's true, sir.
Very nice, Akash Mishra. This has been a good takeaway and good reflection. I can see Satyabrat Behura's.
Madam, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening.
And also good evening to all the members, teachers. Just I want to say, ma'am, this is my first follow-up session I'm joining. And I have also attended the FTP from 22nd November, and I have completed. Madam, this is very true that now I am nearly I'm going to be 50 after 1 year. In between these years, from the time I when I realized that okay, what decision I have to make, how to say something that it will not hurt others, how to understand others. It is, madam, something like what? Everything that I was in need of, that I must live in comfort, I must live with some money, that whenever I had no money, that at that time I became what I was something unruly. I am not very much happy. My parents able to know me, and also my father used to ask me, perhaps you don't have any money. Okay, he was handing over me 500 or 1000, and I became happy. Means after this FDP, madam, uh, I have started thinking about it, feeling about it. uh, अगर ऐसा करना चाहिए तो क्यों, उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा सोचना चाहिए. एंड ऑल्सो इट मेक्स मी वेरी हैप्पी मैम. It's a really good thing. Yes, often I think that okay, क्या मुझे पता नहीं था, but not only I myself, but many others like me, we are always overconfident. Okay, whatever I am doing is right. Whatever decision is taking, I am for myself and also for others, maybe family members, for my students, colleagues, or whatever. Uh, I was thinking that I was very right, but I was not. But this thing, the universal human values, really, ma'am, not only teachers, not only students, but every human being must realize this. This is a really very much what I can say, life changing things. Thank you.
Gee, nice, very nice, sir. Um, Arjun, would you like to put your response to this?
Yeah, it's very nice to hear, and also it is that, like, it starts like that you start, questioning. Basically, if that starts the process of exploring and finding our own answers, then it becomes more permanent for us. So when we hear it the first time, then it takes a little bit of time to, to analyze and see what is what we might have thought earlier, or our preconditioning assumptions which we may have had earlier. And after listening to this, if we feel that we can explore and see whether all those assumptions and preconditionings which we had, which one of those we want to drop, and which ones of those we feel like we want to continue with. So we can start analyzing many things, and then over a period of time, as we keep observing and we keep asking our natural acceptance, then we slowly start moving towards our natural acceptance. We start getting that guidance from our natural acceptance as the primary thing, and then these assumptions and preconditionings become a secondary thing. So without referring to the natural acceptance, it's almost like a primary thing which is there, which is driving our action, driving our thoughts, driving everything. But once we become aware of our natural acceptance and we refer to it often, we try to take guidance from that source rather than the preconditioning or assumption, then we feel happier and we feel more comfortable, because that is what is right for us, right? That's what we are trying to see. And that's why we are all trying to explore so many things which seem very obvious also. Even they also, sometimes it becomes hard to follow just because we may have strong assumptions. Like, for example, if we take a simple example of, say, tasty food versus healthy food, which may or may not be tasty. If it's tasty, it's nice. If it's not, also can be there. But what I'm saying is, if we take an example of food also, then if we ask our natural acceptance whether we want to be healthy or unhealthy, then our natural acceptance is giving that answer that we want to be healthy. But then when we go into living, many times we ignore the natural acceptance and then we go for satisfying the sensation, right? That happens very often, right? That we go for the sensation without referring to the natural acceptance, or just even if we know, we are not able to implement it. So that is a starting point. And then over a period of time, you start observing what happiness you got out of all these sensations. And then at some point, you feel like, the happiness that you got out of all these sensations didn't really last for much time. But the happiness that I got out of listening to my natural acceptance is becoming more and more permanent, and I'm able to be happier more and more of the time. So simple things like this, when we start analyzing, applies for everything else also, right? In our life, like so many events are happening, so many thoughts are there, so many decisions are taken. So if we are aware of our natural acceptance and keep referring to it, then slowly over a period of time, our decisions fall in line with our natural acceptance. And that is how we can be happier and happier on a more permanent basis, rather than trying to get happiness out of the temporary pleasures and sensations. So it's a nice kind of a framework. This UHV is like a framework to explore and to see the reality. So we are all on that path of exploring. It was nice to hear that, after one round of listening to the proposals, then you can start analyzing and start looking at your own life, start looking at the proposals in light of your own life situations. All that can be started.
Nice.
Anyone else like to share any
Uh,
observation?
Arjun, I'm Priya. Actually, in our call, Namaste Manisha Didi, Namaste to all.
Namaste.
In our college induction program is going on, so I'm teaching the first year student. It is actually mixed put, so all the branches. So there are 4 classes. In one class I'm going and teaching now. Final years I'm teaching based on my interest. So the difference I could feel is final year students, they know me, so they treat me as a friend. So I'm very they ask a lot of doubts and all those things. But the first year students, they just seen me only 1 week, so they are also actually listening to it, but not much they actually little since I don't know, they're new, and I'm also new to them, little scared is some only few students I could see they're responding, but all are listening, and it is going very well. And one more thing I need to ask, I may not be able to, because we got only 2 weeks, we may not be able to complete the whole thing. So till we can skip the health session and come to the relationship session,
You can
or
actually,
we need to go in that chapter wise.
it's better to go in order. I think you could like plan the time and the sessions according to the time. So like suppose you have 2 or 3 sessions less, then you can mix 2 or 3 things, mix as in like you can cover them faster maybe.
Because when I was doing it faster, no, it was big. It is for the final year students, I have the whole year is there. But for this one, if I'm going faster, I feel it is little high. Means they are not that comfortable, I feel.
Okay. So
That thing I'm feeling, no, because it is lot of content, and that it is becoming little heavier for them, I feel, when you go in the faster pace. So that's what I was
maybe
thinking.
you can take their feedback also about the pacing and whether they are able to, reflect on the proposals. And if it is looking too fast, then from the content you can simplify it. Like you can cover everything, but you can simplify some of the things, like not go
Okay.
into so much detail for everything.
Details. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For things
But
which are like things which they would be which would be easier for them to grasp. For those, you can cover the main points, and then if there is time later, you can take it. If not, then you can skip the detailing of it. But you can just give a overview, because like in this, anything if we miss, then that holistic view doesn't come, right?
It
If we
doesn't
miss
come. Yeah, yeah,
some
yeah.
of the things,
Mm-hmm.
like if we miss, say, trust or respect or any of these things, then it becomes a little less holistic in the sense that you don't get the full picture, right? Like if you skip nature, or if you skip self and body or any of these things, then it becomes harder to see the. So you can just cover it briefly if there's less time, and not
Okay,
go into
okay.
the details of the content.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, in this also, we can always go into more detail or less detail, like how the 5-day workshop is also happening, 3 days also happening, right? So
No, but for the students, it's for the teachers, no, for the students. But what I told that you can, I told I am just only 1 year experience, so I am not having that much, might be that much content clarity. Whatever content I know, I am. It's a new thing for me also. I'm also exploring. Then I told about the follow-up sessions happening in Wednesday, so that you can join, because you as a person, you are more years into this UHV, no? So I've told them to attend. I think, but I could see that everybody was, they are hearing something new, like all the contents, they are knowing it, but they are, I could see them, they're exploring it. So it's a, actually for me also, it's a nice feeling, and it's very, very self-satisfaction for me.
exploring, because none of us have reached that point.
Sorry, I think somebody's mic is on.
But what I'm saying is that we are all anyway exploring and just sharing according to the proposals, whatever we are able to either explore, or which we are still exploring, we are just sharing. So even with the students also, it would be the same thing, that we're not claiming to know it all, kind of. We're just saying that we are also exploring, you can also explore, and these are the proposals which are shared in this subject. So uh, it's more of a discussion kind of a thing, so that way it works well, because that is the fact also, right? That we are not, if you ask any of us also, we can't claim that we are continuously happy at this point.
Yeah.
So we can definitely say that with this content, as we are going on this path, we can definitely say that with more and more clarity, and when we refer to our natural acceptance and take our decisions based on that, when we do all this analysis and we reflect on it and we keep working on this thing, then we can see that we are happier for more percentage of the time. That much is easy to see. But we can't claim that we are continuously happy, right? So we are also saying that we are also co-explorers.
Yes. Okay, Arjun, thank you.
Yeah. So last time we had discussed about gratitude. That gratitude is the feeling for those who have made effort for my excellence. And this was one list which you might have made, right, about uh, the help that directly, help from family, from friends, teachers, from nature, from the society. So if anyone wants to share any observation based on this list that you might have made, and the list of needs also, the help or needs and all the things, like physical things and the things which are not physical also, whatever we are getting from the other and we are using, or we are getting the things in terms of physical things or else in terms of understanding, you can make a list of that and then see. So if anyone wants to share about this, you can share. If you made that list and you have any observations or some kind of analysis or anything? I don't know if people made the list, but if anyone did, or if you got any thoughts about this thing, any observations? So now we'll talk about love. Last time we had talked about gratitude, and now we want to talk about love. So we'll first go over some of the preconditionings that are related to love. We don't have to talk much about this because it's easy to see this because it's prevalent, right? Outside, you can always see what's going on in the society and therefore come to some ideas. Like you might have ideas, preconditionings, assumptions about love that might be to do with love as a love affair, might be to do with love as physical attraction, might be a preconditioning that love is between two people and they have to be of different gender. So, like that, there may be different preconditionings related to love. But when we go ahead, we'll see what we mean by love. So, before that, if you want to share any of your ideas of love, what you think is love, then you can share that also in the chat if you want to write or if you want to talk
Hello.
also. Hello.
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 Sir, I am Ranganath, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. I too, sir. I would like to share, sir, if you permit me, sir, about love.
Sure.
Yeah, that is, love means simply, I would like to say, caring, sharing, and sacrifice. Sir.
Okay.
Feeling togetherness, helpful to each other, and sacrificing something each other, and sharing the pains and pleasures, sir, without any expecting anything. Selfless love, what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
The love may be between father and daughter, father and son, husband and wife, and parents and children. That is selfless love. If I want to reflect myself, what all I would like to do, I have to do without expecting anything from whom I love.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That is then. They are absolutely true to one another, sir. True to one another, true to each other, sharing pains and pleasures. That will strengthen the attachment. That is called, what I feel, to, in my opinion, love means.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now we will go into the proposal of what we are talking about as love.
Sir.
So we may have various kinds of ideas about it, but we can just ask our natural acceptance so that we are able to, get an answer from there rather than getting an answer from our previous thoughts or previous ideas which we may have. Rather than that, we are trying to access that place inside us, that natural acceptance or our conscience, and ask a few simple questions so that we can derive what we mean by love. So, on the basis of your natural acceptance, you can ask yourself if you want to be related to no one, be related to one person, be related to many people, or you want to be related to everyone. So, what answer is coming from your natural acceptance for this question? In the chat, you can write what answer is coming.
What answer is coming?
So be related to everyone, sir.
Okay. When we are saying we want to be related to everyone, it doesn't mean that we have to, you know, we have to
You are able
just
to help
be
others.
with everyone all the time. What we're saying is that we have a feeling of being related to everyone, right? That's what we're trying to say. So in the chat also, everybody is writing everyone. So you can see how your natural acceptance is so universal. It doesn't change from person to person, right? You can see that. Which we are, which is part of us, right? It's already there inside us, natural acceptance. It's not something which is based on our thoughts. It's not something which is based on previous ideas about something, right? It's not something based on what other people are saying. So, natural acceptance is something which is there inside us. So, that's why when you ask your natural acceptance, you'll see that you get a certain answer. And that answer, when you try asking more and more people, you'll start observing that everybody's saying the same thing. So, like if you ask this question also, that do you want to be happy or unhappy? Then from your natural acceptance, you get the answer. That doesn't depend on whether you read some kind of scripture or whether you read some kind of textbook or whether you got that information from some movie or some, something outside. It's something which is very innate, kind of, which is there inside us, which can guide us. So all we have to do is refer to that, and when we refer to that, then you get the answer of what you want, basically. So if you want to feel related to everyone, then what is stopping you from feeling related to everyone? That's one question. If you want to answer in the chat or in the on the mic, you can. So what we're saying as love, how we're defining love is the feeling of being related to everyone. And not only everyone, to all. To all means not just people, but also nature, plants, animals, everything which exists, the whole existence. That includes everything, right? Not only the living things, also the non-living. Non-living is actually not a real representation of the thing. It's because everything is living. But basically, the things that don't move also, and the like the table, the chair. It may look odd if you say that you love everything. You love the table, the chair, not because it looks good, but because it exists and we want to feel related to everyone and everything, right? All the nature, it, everything is a part of nature, right? All the things in the universe are different kinds of arrangements of different things in the universe. So love is the feeling of being related to all. And many times we confuse that feeling of being related to all. Actually, the feeling of being related to all, we may not even talk about much outside, but we often talk about love as being between two people in the form of some kind of excitement, which we feel excited when certain kinds of things happen. From sensation, from preconditioning, right? From sensation means physical touch or any kind of sensation. excitement from that, or preconditioning is any kind of previous ideas which we have based on that. So if our notion of love is related to preconditioning or sensation, then as usual, we won't be able to have continuous happiness from that. It can only be temporary happiness, which is called excitement, but it cannot be a permanent kind of happiness. So when we look at sensation, it's a kind of dependence on the other for getting that sensation, right? It's something where you're trying to get a particular feeling from the other based on a certain physical arrangement, right? You're trying to get some kind of a pleasure from the other. So all that is going to lead to only temporary excitement. And that also leads to the craving for more and more of that, because you're getting some temporary excitement. And in your day-to-day life, you're not getting that also. So then, because you feel that this is better than that, because at least you're getting it temporarily, then it becomes like an endless loop where you keep craving for that. So you crave for that sensation again and again. So with the physical relationship, it's very easy to see that you have this kind of a feeling that you want it again and again. And that's only because we're getting that excitement from that. And in our day-to-day life, we are not having that happiness within. So therefore, we are trying to get happiness from outside. And even though we may recognize that happiness from outside is temporary, we still may get addicted to that only because of the fact that we are feeling like we are getting some excitement there, whereas here we are not getting anything. But on the other hand, if you see that what would be the method for getting continuous happiness, then you can see clearly that neither of these would really lead to continuous happiness, right? The sensation or the preconditioning. It's easy to see over a period of time that the and when you like ask your natural acceptance what you want to feel happy, you want to be pleasant, right? Inside, you want to have a happy feeling inside. Kind of a craving that you need something from the other to be happy. You want to have it within yourself, which is already there within ourselves. So if we just look at our natural acceptance and try to increase our level of understanding, work more towards right understanding, then having that right understanding itself will lead to a lot of happiness. And then that can translate into our living also. So right now it looks like there's nothing in that, because it's not like a glamorous thing, right? Trying to understand something doesn't initially feel like anything is happening, because you don't get that temporary excitement and all that you don't get. So then many people may feel that you're not getting anything out of it, so what's the point? Why should we do that? So either you come to this after seeing that the other methods have failed, or else you try this and you see what happens when you're focused on your natural acceptance, when you're asking your natural acceptance for everything, and then you see what answers you get and how that can shape your life differently also. So there may be so many preconditionings like these ones written here, like love at first sight, or by a certain age you have to have a girlfriend or boyfriend, or you have to get married, or the other has a girlfriend or boyfriend and you don't have. So all these things are just preconditionings which are coming from different scenarios in the society, right? Like if you're in a college, and in the college, if all the people except for you have a girlfriend or boyfriend and you don't have, then it may make you feel like you lack something, and the others have it and you don't have it. So that makes you feel like you are less than the others, right? So then you feel depressed about yourself, and therefore you feel the kind of need to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. That could be one thing. Or it could be that you're feeling unhappy within, and you feel that if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, then it will fill that gap within. You may have so many preconditionings, right, about this thing, that you need something else to fill the void, which is there. But in reality, if you see, then everything which is happening within you. All the feelings are happening within you. So you also have the capacity to have the feeling of love within you, which you don't have to get from the other. If you're expecting it from the other, then it becomes a dependence on the other. If you have it within you, then you can share it with everyone also. So it's a very different situation then. So these are some of the common misunderstandings about love. And with right understanding, we can work towards love, which is the feeling of being related to all, feeling responsible towards all, and the feeling of giving to all also. Because naturally, if you're feeling related to all, then you also feel like giving to all. Like if you feel that you are related to your child or your brother or sister or parent, right? If you feel that feeling of relationship, then you feel responsible towards all these people also. And you feel like giving also. Not only in terms of physical facility, but in terms of feeling also, in terms of understanding also. Everything, right? You feel like giving. But if you don't feel related to the other, if you feel like the other is a stranger, the other is not concerned, I'm not concerned about the other, then I either go with that feeling of being indifferent, where I don't care about the other, or I have a feeling of opposition for the other. So, what we are calling love is the feeling of being related to all, feeling responsible towards all, and feeling that with that responsibility, with that feeling, it becomes natural to feel like giving also to all. Right? If there's any comment or question at this point, you can share.
Good evening, sir. Good evening,
Good
all.
evening. Good
Yes,
evening.
I agree with all the propositions we are having here. But earlier, I used to have a very different, narrow concept or assumption about love. Before undergoing training for UHV, I also thought at one point that it's something which exists between two people, and when that uh, is something we carry in our mind, we often feel unloved because uh, then that feeling depends on that other person.
Right.
Yeah, but the moment we are going beyond that and we are able to connect with people in general to understand what love is, we don't really end up feeling unloved so frequently. In fact, never, because I remember one example the facilitator was giving on that day. I'm forgetting his name. Sorry. Even I said this, perhaps during the feedback session, I would like to reiterate. He gave a wonderful example. He said, even that meal you were talking about just a few minutes back, he was saying something similar to that. He said that plate the chapatis we are having on our table, we are consuming it, but do we realize all the love we are consuming when we do that? Because the farmer far away, some unknown farmer has grown crop with a lot of tenderness and love and care, and that has gone into it. Similarly, all those people who are involved in that process, lot of efforts, lot of dedication and care has gone into that one meal I'm having. If I just concentrate on that, I don't think I'll ever feel unloved. I'll know that there's so many people who are working for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the more universal we get, uh, I think it's more aligned to the natural acceptance, and there'll be fulfillment, prosperity for sure. With this narrow concept of love, thinking that it's something which exists between two people, and that second person if does whatever it can spoil the equation, and I'll end up in depression. The common phenomenon that our students, most of our students, they undergo, and they come for counseling. They feel depressed. Relationship stress is there. So I think we can share this example definitely with this.
Right. And we can see clearly that, if we are dependent on the other for the feeling, then it becomes like you have to be with the other all the time, and that cannot last,
Which is not possible.
actually.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Adding, if I could add something more, listening to this, I feel that when we are connected to others and all this, there is a sense of gratitude also.
Right.
When we are in love, like feeling or being related to everything around, it could be nature, society, then being responsible to all, though they ask or not, helping out others, and also nature related, if there is something wrong going on, doing that is good on that part and giving to all, that gratitude also improves, right? These are all connected, in fact.
Yeah. After you have the feeling of gratitude, then like, love is basically a combination of all the previous feelings which we talked about, because um, after you have all those feelings, then love becomes a natural feeling.
Yes,
but if you don't have those feelings, then love doesn't happen, because like take the example of take the feeling of trust or respect. We can see that if we don't have trust with the other,
yes,
then we don't feel related to the other also. If you don't have trust on their intention,
yes,
we may realize that their competence may be less or more, but if we are able to see their intention and see that they also want to be happy, I also want to be happy, they want to make me happy, I want to make them happy. If we're able to see this much,
yes,
then only we feel related and we feel like we are responsible to them. Otherwise, we may not feel that. That's why this being related to all is like expanding your circle from, say, your two people to family to
world family,
to society to the whole world family. So at this point, we may have different circles of where we extend that feeling. Like, for some people, it may be only with themselves. For some people, it may be with themselves and the person who they're with, their husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or something. There are 3 or 4 people. For somebody else, it may be their colony, right? For somebody else, it may be their whole society. And eventually, if you're having that feeling of being related to all and responsible towards all, that is what we are calling the feeling of love. So even though we haven't reached there yet, we can still see that as we expand that circle, then doesn't it make us feel more comfortable just because we feel like there are more people in our, you know, uh, there's a more comfortable feeling within just because of having the feeling of being related to more people. So there are some other comments also in the chat. Um, and one is giving to all without expecting in return. Yeah, in this case, you won't be expecting anything, because if you're expecting something, then it's like a transaction, not like the feeling of giving, just giving. So that's one. And the fear of what others think, I don't know in the context of that. Where, I mean, for what? Fear of what? About what? So if you want to mention in the chat, or if you want to say it on the mic, you can.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm Dr. Arunachalam from Chennai.
Okay.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Actually, in general, people are feeling love and affection along with our family only. So we want to overcome in that area. For example, if others also make to happy, in that way we have to educate our students in real life. So if you think in the family, for example, if my brother or sister or everything or mother, we can give and take whatever the feelings and respect or some other things. In case of others, also we can consider as our family. Then only the society will come in the top. This is my idea to share it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's what we are saying also, that like when we start expanding that circle from our family to more and more people, we start feeling related to strangers also, what we call strangers. Because they also, if you look at it, they also have the same natural acceptance. They also want to be happy. They want to make you happy. They may not realize that. But if we can see our natural acceptance, then we can see the others also, right? Like even just now we did that experiment where we asked if you want to be what was the thing, whether, I don't know, some question we asked. Yeah, we want, if you want to feel related to one or many or everyone. So from your natural acceptance you got this answer of everyone. So even the stranger on the road who's walking will get that same answer if you ask that question, because his natural acceptance will also be there, right? The same as ours, yours, mine. So when we feel related to everyone, that is what we're calling the feeling of, like, we would interact with only a few people in our lifetime, maybe like as a teacher or as a student or as working in some job or profession, whatever we are doing in our whole lifetime, we'll be interacting only with a few handful of people, right? Maybe 1,000, 2,000 people in our life. That's all, right? Maybe more, maybe less. But what we're saying is that even if we're interacting with less people, then if we have that feeling of being related to everyone, then whoever we come across, we will have that same feeling for them also. And with that feeling, we will interact with those people. So when we are interacting with that feeling, then it becomes very comfortable, because we are also, like, like when you're interacting with your family members, you may have a certain level of comfort. When you're interacting with your boss or your teacher or your somebody, who is in a senior position in the workplace, then you may have a different style of, based on the workplace, based on the etiquette or whatever, ethics, not ethics, the etiquette, the way of doing things. But the feeling is the same, right? So if we are able to see that the feeling can be the same for other people, regardless of whether they are higher position or lower position in the workplace, or somebody who has less money, poor person, somebody who has more money, rich person, somebody who has a higher post, lower post, or one religion, another religion. So all these barriers just dissolve when we start looking at each person as a person who wants to be happy and wants to make me happy. So we have that feeling of trust. And with that feeling of trust, we also have the feeling of respect, because we are able to see that the other is similar to me. And with this trust and respect, then we start to have all the other feelings, the feeling of affection, the feeling of gratitude. We start having all these feelings. And eventually, when we expand this circle to the whole world and to the whole of existence, then we call this feeling love. So that's what is mentioned here in the last line, that once trust, respect, affection, care, guidance are ensured within, then the feeling of being related to all follows naturally. So it starts with trust. If you don't have the feeling of trust on the intention of the other, then none of these can really go through, right? So that's why love is being referred to as the complete value. And love is the foundation for undivided society, because that is how it would be possible for all the segments of the society to come together. Right? Does anyone want to share anything about this? You can share in the chat also any comment or question about it.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, I have a question, sir. May I ask you, sir? Hello. Hello.
Hello. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, sir, can we define love as attachment and association, sir?
Attachment to what, if you see? What would it be to attach to?
To be, as you said, to people, living, non-living, for any things, sir. People around me and things around me, sir.
Yeah, but when we say feeling attached, then what exactly do you mean by that? Because I'm asking because I want to know from your side what your idea about that is, and then we can comment more about it.
Yes, sir. Suppose I have some interest on some persons, maybe my friend or my relative. I am more closely attached to him. Does it mean that I have love for him, sir?
It doesn't. It's not the same, because you may be attached to that person for a certain reason. That reason may have to do with the fact that he or she's a family person. That's why you're attached to that person. Or it could be because you feel that that person is a good person.
Yes, sir.
It could be all these kind of things, right? But when we break that barrier, and then we are saying that we feel related to everyone, then we don't feel attached to anyone as such, because we treat everybody like a relative. So whether that person is a family member or a criminal or anybody who we come across, somebody who is criticizing us, somebody who is appreciating us, somebody who is in the workplace in a higher position, somebody who is in a lower position in the workplace, somebody who is poor, somebody who is rich. So in that way, we are treating everybody, we are having the same feeling for everybody. So therefore we don't feel attached to any person's kind of behavior or any person's kind of way of thinking, right? Or that is different. So when we are attached to somebody, it's more like we are feeling related to them because of a certain reason, that which like the reason which may be to do with that person's behavior, or we like that person's personality, or we like that person's attitude towards life, or something like that, something where we are connecting with that person's ideology or their thoughts or their physical form or something like that. So whenever we connect to any of these things, then you can realize that these things are not permanent.
Yes.
So we're connecting more with, so attachment is about connecting more with the things which are impermanent. On the other hand, if we connect with the natural acceptance, which is a part of the self which continues,
Yes, sir.
then we don't really look at these things, opinions and thoughts and all that, as something which we would want to connect to like that, in that sense.
Sir.
So then we feel related to all, but then we don't feel attached to anyone, because we care for everyone. We care and we feel related, all that is there. But then if something happens, like if you're attached, then you feel the pain also. When, like, suppose if it's somebody in your family members, right?
Yes.
Suppose somebody has some health problem or something happens, then we feel more for that person. But the same health problem, if it happens to somebody else, who's outside our family,
May not be such attached. Yes, sir.
that is happening because of the feeling of attachment.
Sir.
But if you're feeling the feeling of love, then you won't feel affected by that, but you will do everything that you can do in your capacity to try to improve the situation.
Sir, yes.
But you will not feel, you will do everything because you have that feeling of being related to everyone. So whoever you're coming across, you will definitely share that feeling and do whatever has to be done in the action also. But what I'm saying is, the difference is that in attachment,
yes,
you feel the pain of the other person also more.
Sir, yes, sir.
You
Yes, sir.
feel the happiness also of the other person more.
Yes, sir.
So it's a very different kind of a thing.
Yes. True, sir. True, sir. Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So one question is there, that how many centuries are required to have this type of feeling? So it's not about centuries or anything like that. It's not time based. It's just based on how we are perceiving the world, how we are perceiving others, how we are you know looking at other things around us also. What is our perception about everything? So to enhance our perception about all these things, it can be done by drawing our awareness towards all these things. So we start exploring all these things, ask our natural acceptance first, and see what answers we get. And then based on those answers, we also see what conflicts are there in our mind, which is leading to some opposing thoughts or opposing actions which we may be doing. So we analyze all these things going on. And then over a period of time, our understanding keeps developing. what we are calling that right understanding. So it also depends on how much effort we put into this, how much effort we put into right understanding. Because as we put more and more effort into that, and we start seeing things directly rather than through the filters of our preconditioning and assumptions, that will help a lot to start having more of this feeling. And even if we don't reach the end point where we are feeling related to all, if we even feel related to a few more people, then it will give us a great sense of comfort also. Comfort within, not physical comfort, comfort within yourself. So instead of having a goal to reach this point immediately, you could have a goal to see your natural acceptance and try to take all your decisions based on your natural acceptance over a period of time. Like first, just start referring to your natural acceptance, start exploring the proposals, start connecting them with your real life situations, and then see where that goes. And without expecting it to lead to this point, you can work towards this point. At least you have a place which you can work towards, a kind of a goal which you can work towards.
Nice. Arjun, I can see Suryakant ji as unmuted. So, Suryakant ji, would you like to discuss something or put forward a query?
Yeah, madam. Yeah, madam.
Please.
Hello. I absolutely agree with sir's whatever the things has been explained so far with respect to the love to all and feeling of having love to everyone. But anyway, that the question I put it taking into consideration, looking back to the 12th century, the so many peoples have tried to change, to bring some good things in this society. The people who have fought against the so many things which are existing in our society, but ultimately those peoples having such a broad vision, might be considering it as a broad love, but ultimately they did not succeed to achieve in this society to bring the changes what they are supposed expected. So that's what I put that question, that's is it possible to have such a feeling? That was my question, madam.
So you're saying in the society, right, about everyone having this feeling.
Yes.
Yeah, about possibility, we can't really say whether it's possible or not possible, because it also depends on how much impact can be had by how much impact can be there. But if you look at an individual, you can see that it is possible.
Maybe I think it is very difficult. What I personally feel, sir.
Yeah, it may be difficult, but if you're asking if it is possible or not possible, then we can say it's possible, right?
Yeah, surely, sir.
And if we consider it as something impossible, then we don't even put effort towards it. But if we consider it as something possible, then even if we don't reach there, then as we go on that journey, we keep feeling more and more happiness within. So
definitely, sir.
So even if you don't reach there, you can still explore and work on it, right? And as far as the society is concerned, based on your that you may have, and whatever you can do, because anyway, if you're not doing that, then you're doing something else anyway, right? So you can also do this. It's just going to help you have some positive impact. It may not lead to a widespread thing in the whole society or in the whole world, but at least in your scope of view, it can do something, right? Like how we are having this meeting. There are only 40 or 50 people who have joined right now. But
Yeah.
that 40 or 50 people is still not zero, right? It's still something. There are like 7 billion
Yeah.
or 8 billion people in the world. But if everyone does something, then of course some impact can happen. That impact may not be visible on a worldwide level, but that also depends on how much impact that person can have, or how many people can be there who can listen at that time and start implementing something at that time. Like for example, if you have a big celebrity, then they may have a larger set of people who may be ready to listen or ready to start taking some to start doing something for the world also, right? So it is right now a lot dependent on that also, but regardless of that, we can see what we can do for ourselves and what we can do for the people who are around us, and that's it, right? For now, that's all that we can do anyway, because what else could we do?
Yeah, definitely, sir. Definitely. There will be at least some impact.
Yeah, and it may not be visible, like in the world, it may take a long time to be visible, but in your own life, if you start implementing something, start exploring the proposals and start taking the guidance from your natural acceptance, then when that leads to a certain state of comfort within, then naturally you want to share that with others also, right? So when you have that feeling of sharing with the others, then that you feel motivated to do that also, and then you start doing it also. So whatever number of people, you're not looking at how many people you're talking to, you're just looking at the fact that you have that feeling within and you want to share it with others. And if people are listening, it's fine. If people are not listening also, it's fine. From your side, you just
Yeah.
want to share, right? That's all.
Yeah, sir. Definitely, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice. Miss Vrinda. Miss Vrinda, ma'am, would you like to reflect on something? Or Murali Krishnan? Ji?
Yes, good evening, all of you. Namaste.
Namaste.
This is Murali Krishnan. I handle health, nutrition, fitness for the MBA students and physical education and sport for polytechnic students, where I teach them the respect, friendship, and love in my own structure. Only after attending this program, I've gotten a perfect tool or a framework to still deliver effectively to them. So respect, starting from trust, the basic value, fundamental value, and being love as a complete value, gives them, the students, also a perspective which they were able to relate. And for me, love is a sense, a feeling, an unconditional one. When you are being non-judgmental, either with yourself or others, we can experience that love. And Arjuna rightly told, it may take some more time for the rest of the world to experience this. So many of them have already done this work, like Aurobindo, One World, One Humanity, and Global Village sort of ones. But again, for them to reach out, they properly would have not had a tool like this, which is universal, as like universal human value. This is a tool which all of them, if they are understanding, apply it for themselves, and learning to practice it, they can definitely influence the day-to-day interactions which they have with the people, those who are important in their life. Slowly that circle will enlarge. So in a tiny small way, we can always do that. And this UHV platform gives me a wonderful opportunity to reflect, share, introspect, and practice on a daily basis, and continuity, it gives me a lot of sense of confidence and happiness. I thank all the UHV members for such a wonderful initiative and spending a lot of time and energy in inculcating and making this to reach out to millions of teachers of India. I'm sure that we will be able to reach that, and we should be able to really be practicing on at our own time and own pace, and see that we are also moving forward. This is what I wanted to share. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. So I think we can close the session now.
Yes, Arjun, this is so. Dear participants, this has been another good, interesting, and communicative session. We'll meet again coming Friday for the session on holistic health, and every Wednesday, as we all know, that a session on module 1 of SIP is scheduled based on UHV content. Nice. So there is on the view foil, we have something to look into and do it as a homework. So Arjun, would you like to just put it forward to the participants?
Yeah, you can just do this to just these kind of exercises make your self-exploration a little bit easier.
Nice.
You can do so many things, but this is just to trigger that process. And then once you start exploring, then you can ask yourself so many questions and start, looking into, reflecting into so many things. But for now, to start with, you could do this, that you could make a list of people in your family, in the college, and in the larger society who are directly or indirectly responsible to fulfill your needs. Those needs may be physical or not physical also. And what is your feeling for those people, for those things in nature, for all the things, and what is your interaction with them, and what is your contribution towards them? Like, for example, if you're getting something from someone, you may be getting say getting something physical from someone, or getting something in terms of understanding from someone, or it might be a big chain of people also, like how we mentioned that the chain of people is so huge for one meal that we are eating. So we're just asking, what is your feeling for them? What is your interaction with them? Is there any interaction with all these people, or it's only with a few of them? And what is your contribution to them in terms of their understanding, in terms of feeling, and in terms of physical facility which you are giving to them? So on one hand, we are consuming also, and on the other hand also we are giving also. So what does that look like? What does that equation look like? What does the feeling look like? And what is the interaction? So this is 11.2. This you can just do and see.
Nice. So with this, we'll say thank you to all the participants for their wholehearted participation in this follow-up session. And we'll meet again coming Wednesday for the same session on UHV, and on Friday for a session on holistic health. Thank you and good night. Thank you, Arjun.
Thank you. There's a question about how do we submit the thing, but there's no need to submit, and it's not compulsory also. This is only for reflection. If you want to get some ideas for what you can reflect on, you can start with this, and then you may naturally get a lot of questions. So you can ask your natural acceptance and keep exploring. So with that, we'll say good night and thank you to all.
Yes. Good night, everybody. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.